Hello everybody, I hope that you're having a nice day, and today we're gonna start with lesson number 2 and we're gonna finish lesson number 3. For today we have 2 because I think that the number 3 is kinda short, so also because it has some audio and well, that way you can like listen to it one more time. Alright guys, so please today we start with page number 90. All right, so it says that the goal is to take responsibility for a mistake. So everyone makes mistakes, okay? That's something that we already know. But taking responsibility for one, it can be complicated because, well, sometimes we people don't like to recognize that we are in a wrong. But, well, it doesn't matter. What we are going to learn in here is how to express that we made the mistake and, like, what was the result or the condition, okay, what happened before, so the mistake was made. All right, but we can use it with more stuff. This is just like the example for what do we use. We start with a conversation between these people, these two gentlemen. All right, so let's hear.
Read and listen to someone taking responsibility for a mistake.
Sorry I'm late. I thought the meeting was tomorrow. What happened? I'm ashamed to say I just forgot to put it on my calendar. Don't worry. That can happen to anyone. Well, if I had written it down, I wouldn't have forgotten. No harm done. We were just getting started.
Very well. So we have this phrase that is the main one for the conversation, and we also have an extra phrase that I want to talk about it. All right. So it says that this guy forgot to mention to put, I'm sorry, in the calendar about the meeting. And he says, if I had written it down, I wouldn't have forgotten. So this was the condition, okay? He didn't write down about the meeting in the calendar, and the mistake, okay, or the result of it is that he forgot to go, okay? He went late. Okay, so well, we're gonna talk more about it, and then we have this phrase, no harm done. That means that it's like, there's nothing wrong. Or when we say also no problem or it's cool, that's another way to say it, no harm done. Very well, so now we can start with this, the grammar. If you notice, it's very short because it's kind of easy, okay? It's not a lot to talk about, but still can have like, can be tricky. All right, it says that the past unreal conditional. This past unreal conditional describes past not real or not true conditions and the results of it. Use the past perfect in the if clause. Use would have or could have plus a past participle in the result clause. So for making these sentences, we're going to mix the past perfect in the if clause and something like the present perfect in the result clause. If you remember, the present perfect has this auxiliary have and a past participle. But in this case, we're gonna use modals before the auxiliary. Okay, we're gonna have modal, auxiliary, and main verb. Those are gonna be 3 verbs. we can have would have or could have. Okay, so here we have a note. Don't use would or could in the if clause. Okay, that's not correct. We cannot say if Jonas Salk wouldn't have invented. That's not correct. So we're just gonna stick to what it says in here. We're gonna check the examples. If she had rented a more economical car, she wouldn't have spent so much money on gas. Okay, but that's from the past and it's not real. What happened in reality? She didn't rent a more economical car. Okay, maybe she rented I don't know, 8-cylinder car or something. I don't know, like a Lobo truck. Those that are very big. Maybe she did. Now we have if Jonas Salk hadn't invented a vaccine to protect people against polio, many more people would have gotten the disease. But he did invent it. Okay, he did make a vaccine for that. Now we have the questions and the answers. For this, remember, we changed the order of the words. In this case, we can start with the model, okay? Could, then the subject, they have prevented the accident. Okay, we have could, the model first, then the subject, and the auxiliary and the main verb. If they had known the tires were so old, as we saw in the last class, we can change the order of the if clause and the result clause by using a comma. So in this case, another way to express the same question could be, if they had known the tires were so old, could they have prevented the accident? Okay, so well, just for you to check that, we can have it one way or the other. It is the same idea. What would you have done if you hadn't had your phone with you? And again, we have an answer and we can like express it in a different way. These two are important because we have a yes/no question, starts with a model, or an information question that starts with a WH. All right. So well, something also I want to mention is what happens with the past perfect. You remember that? You don't? A little bit? Okay, let's have a little review about it. We're gonna skip this. Okay, so for the past perfect structure, we have that we need a subject. In here, we can talk about singular or plural the same way. It doesn't change. Then we need the auxiliary verb had. Okay, always had. And a past participle verb. Remember, you can always check by the end of your book. You have a list of verbs, or you can check it on the internet or something, because here we have something important to mention, that regular verbs, when they are in past participle, we just add ed. They stay the same as in the past tense. But irregular verbs, they change completely and they don't have a specific rule. So for that, we better check how it's written. The most common example for that will be, the verb be. We have be. In the past, simple past is was or were. And in the past participle, we have been. Okay, so that's for an irregular verb, and this one is one of the most irregular verbs. Then we have a complement, all right? And I wrote in here 2 examples. Hector had gone to Texas many times. And we also have, they had bought at Best Buy before. Now, if you remember in the previous lesson, we had something like this, but in the if clause, we used simple past, not past perfect. So what is the difference? Why we use past perfect and not simple past? Well, when we use simple past, we talk about something not specific, okay? We just talk about the past, just like that, okay? Let me modify this example to a simple past. Hector went to Texas, okay? So what is that? Hector went to Texas. When? Why? How? Well, we don't have a lot of details. But in the other one, in the past perfect, we have something different. Okay, Hector had gone to Texas many times. Okay, that tells us that he has visited the Lone Star State like several times in the past. Okay, yes, you can tell me, teacher, that doesn't answer me when. Yes, I know it doesn't, but it certainly gives us like more details. That's the main difference, to be honest. Okay, simple past is not specific, past perfect is more specific. Okay, And we can say something extra. Had gone to Texas before going to Mexico. Okay, maybe something like that. And again, we have another example. They had bought at Best Buy before. The other way, the simple past, they bought at Best Buy. Okay, just an example. So they bought at Best Buy what? I mean, if you say they bought it, okay, that's different. You're talking about an object. But in here, you don't tell me anything. You just tell me they went. And when you say this, they had both, that tells us that they have a like experience going to Best Buy. They know it's like a good place. They go often or something. So well, that's more or less the difference. Past, simple past, not specific. Past perfect, more specific. Okay, so that's the things I wanted to mention. And again, we have in here another example for the topic. I tell you, this is something like for recognizing mistakes or something, but we can use it with more simple stuff. If I had woken up earlier this morning, I would have caught the news at 6, okay? So well, that's it, okay? If you wake up early, you can watch the news very early or you can do more stuff. So well, that's more or less it, guys, how it works. Past perfect for the if, would have or could have for the result. All right, so we have in here some exercises. Those are for you. Understand the grammar. Choose the meaning of each past unreal conditional sentence. So in here, what are we going to do? We'll have to check what happened first and what happened later. All right. So those are 4 exercises, pretty easy. This one is not so easy, okay? This can be a little bit more complicated, the letter B. It's also for you to answer. It says, complete the sentences in the past unreal conditional, using only would, okay? We are not going to use could. Let's check the first one. What would you, and here we have a clue, do if you miss the train? All right, so I'm gonna help you with this one. Then you can answer the other 6. So first, it says that we are always going to use would. If you remember in the grammar box from above, the WH questions start with WH, and then we have the model. In this case, we're gonna use the model. What would you, then we have, okay, have done if you had missed, okay, yeah, I think this is it. All right, so well, I'm gonna put it in here. Okay, so give me just 1 second because it's complicated to put them in the right place. Okay, so yeah, here it is. Okay, so let's see. What would you have done? Here we have the clue. If you had missed the train. All right, so well, yeah, that's how you are going to answer the other 5. And then we can go to the next page. Remember, guys, if you have any questions or other stuff about the grammar or about anything, you can always send me a message. Don't worry. This one is kind of complicated, but you can answer it with a friend or something if you have doubts, or again, you can send me a message. Well, now this one we can answer it at home, at class. When we have the next meeting, we're gonna answer it together. Okay, so no more homework for you. All right. We have something in here that is important, the pronunciation, okay? We have contractions with an D in spoken English, okay? This is important. This is only for spoken English, not for written. Now it says, notice the pronunciation of the spoken contractions. Read and listen, and blah, blah, blah. All right? So, well, this contraction, it works for had, for would, and for did. All right, so well, be careful when you try to use one of those in talking, because it can be like one or the other. But well, you're gonna understand, this is something more of practice than other stuff. But let's check how it sounds.
Read and listen. 1,
Where did you go? Where'd you go?
2,
Who did you see? Who'd you see?
3,
It would be okay. It'd be okay.
4,
If we had had a map, we wouldn't have gotten lost. If we'd had a map, we wouldn't have gotten lost.
All right, so, well, how is the pronunciation in few words? For word, we say word, word. Okay, we just like make a little sound with our tongue in the mouth. Hood, eat it, and with. Okay, if we, okay, this is more or less it. It's more practice. I always say it. All right, guys, so the next stuff, it's listening. So now I'm gonna play it and you can hear it as many times as you need for writing the sentences.
write the sentences you hear. Write full, not contracted forms. 1,
Where'd they go?
2,
Who'd they talk to?
3,
When do you buy that car?
4,
If I'd wanted that laptop, we would have gotten it.
Ya llegó.
5,
If we'd known we couldn't use that scanner, we wouldn't have tried.
6,
Why'd they try to fix the coffee maker?
Very well. So, well, those are the sentences, guys. All right. So if you don't have a problem with that, we can go to the lesson number 3. This one is pretty fast to answer and to check. The goal is to describe new inventions. So first of all, we have some vocabulary to talk about technology. The first one we have is low tech and high tech. Okay, and here we have the some images for that. Low tech, we can also talk about molcajete, and high tech, I don't know, a super blender with 6 speeds or something. Okay, so just more examples. Something wacky is something like foolish or not very useful, something dumb, but that it exists, and well, there we have it. Unique, something like very amazing, something that it only exists in that way. For example, what can I tell you? Like virtual reality lenses, those are unique. No, not a lot of stuff can do it. So yeah, I think that will be unique. Also, the 3D printing machines, those are also unique. And finally, we have efficient and inefficient. So, well, that's more or less like in Spanish, so we don't have a lot of problems. We have this chart with the correct adjective and to fill with a correct adjective and a product or invention but that we can answer it in the next class. And then we have another listening, all right? So you're gonna have to draw conclusions. Listen and write the number of the conversation next to the invention, please.
listen and write the number of the conversation next to the invention each person should have had. Conversation 1.
I'm going crazy. I didn't sleep a wink last night.
How come?
It's my cats again. If they're out, they want to come in, and if they're in, they want to go out. Like T.S. Eliot said, they're on the wrong side of every door. Last night, they woke me up 3 times.
Conversation 2.
Oh no, look at the time. It's already 6 o'clock and your mother is coming at 7.
This place is a mess. Look at the dust on the floor. What do we do?
Relax. I'll clean up while you make dinner.
We'll never be ready in time. Maybe she won't notice the dust.
Conversation 3.
Georgette, what happened to your skirt? You look like you fell in the river.
I might as well have. I had to wait a long time for the bus, and every car that passed by splashed water on me.
Yeah, the puddles from the rain are enormous.
And filthy.
Conversation 4.
Thanks so much for the tomato plants. I love homegrown tomatoes.
You're welcome. Just be sure to plant them within a couple of days. They're getting a little too big for their pots.
I will. See you soon.
Bye now.
Oh my gosh, I don't have time to get the soil ready for so many plants. I have a lot of work to do in the house this weekend.
Very well. So you put in there the number of the conversation. Finally, guys, the last exercise is this one again. You have to listen the audio one more time and describe using your own words each of the problems. So I'm gonna play it one more time.
Listen again, and then write each problem in your own words. Conversation 1.
I'm going crazy. I didn't sleep a wink last night.
How come?
It's my cats again. If they're out, they want to come in, and if they're in, they want to go out. Like T.S. Eliot said, they're on the wrong side of every door. Last night, they woke me up 3 times.
Conversation 2.
Oh no, look at the time. It's already 6 o'clock and your mother is coming at 7.
This place is a mess. Look at the dust on the floor. What do we do?
Relax. I'll clean up while you make dinner.
We'll never be ready in time. Maybe she won't notice the dust.
Conversation 3.
Georgette, what happened to your skirt? You look like you fell in the river.
I might as well have. I had to wait a long time for the bus, and every car that passed by splashed water on me.
Yeah, the puddles from the rain are enormous.
And filthy.
Conversation 4.
Thanks so much for the tomato plants. I love homegrown tomatoes.
You're welcome. Just be sure to plant them within a couple of days. They're getting a little too big for their pots.
I will. See you soon.
Bye now.
Oh my gosh, I don't have time to get the soil ready for so many plants. I have a lot of work to do in the house this weekend.
Very well, guys. Well, that's it for this lesson. And we finish it on the next class. We have also here some exercises. I was going to include them, but I think that is enough with the homework you have. So, well, I hope that you have a nice day, and anything that you need, you can talk to me and send me a message. So, goodbye.